Okay, we're in the car on the way to Grandma's house, Grandma and Grandpa's house. Gwen's asleep. There's Liv. There's Lil and Maggie.
Hi. Oh, hi.
And Mama's driving. So, Gaskin story on the road. I thought I'd do one about all my friends growing up. All the ones I can remember. Shouldn't take too long. So I don't remember any friends in California where I was born. I moved too early. Then in Provo, when I moved there when I was 2 or 3, only friends I remember, let's see, are Fred and AJ. They lived next door for a little bit. We'd just climb trees and run around the neighborhood mostly. And then James George, he lived down the street, just north of us. I remember he had peaches on his tree, and we'd pick those and eat those. Those were tasty. And we'd play in the ditch, James and me. And that's when we were 4 or 5 years old. Fred and AJ and I would play hide and seek and climb trees, and that was also when I was 5 probably. Lauren, she lived next door, and she didn't like to play in the ditch as much as the other boys. I don't remember what we did. Mostly probably just walked around and talked and climbed our big tree. Then in DC, I had a friend across the street named Gabe. He was a real nice kid. I remember he was Jewish, which was something I didn't know before, having lived only in Provo, only remember living in Provo. I hadn't ever met any Jewish kids, so that was a new experience for me. Cool kid. We played with the dreidel, which sounds stereotypical, but we played with the dreidel when I went to his house. I remember going to his birthday party, his 8th birthday party, and getting him a glider plane, and that was fun. Don't remember any other friends in DC. North Carolina, I'm sure I had friends. I remember going to one of their houses and playing the regular Nintendo and playing baseball on their Nintendo system. But I don't remember anyone's name from North Carolina. Yeah, no one that we played with really. In Boston, I remember Justin Cole. He lived on a military base with us, and I would go explore the forest with him and play video games. It sounds weird, but I remember his family had a waterbed. That was something I had never experienced before, and I thought that was so weird and cool that they had a waterbed. I remember we'd go skating on the little ponds and rivers on the base when they'd freeze over, and I remember after Hurricane, I think it was Hurricane Hugo, this would have been like 1994, no, maybe a little earlier. It knocked over a bunch of trees, and we went and explored the forest and found all the knocked over trees, and we'd climb all over them. Probably pretty dangerous, but we were boys, whatever. We'd roam around the forest for hours on end. I remember there were people across the street, had like 8 kids in one of those big vans. I play with them now and then. Don't remember their names. Yep, that's Boston. Let's see, Japan, getting older. In Japan I was 11, 12, 13, so I remember that one pretty well. I played with Josh Keller. We would roam around the base, try to find bunkers and old World War II caves and dugouts. That was fun. We'd play Echo the Dolphin and Sonic the Hedgehog on his computer. I remember playing with Travis Davenport and Joshua Kottke and Jason somebody. We'd bike a lot. We'd bike all over the base and try to jump off little hills and stuff. We'd climb over the seawall and try to explore and find stuff. We'd wait till the tide would go out, and so there's a seawall, and we'd wait for the tide to go out, and it would reveal all these big cement tide breakers. They're like jacks, but they're probably 10 feet by 10 feet by 10 feet. And we'd climb all through the really filthy jacks after the tide had gone out. We'd find all sorts of treasures like tennis balls and water bottles and other things I shouldn't have touched. One time we found a rocking horse spring, like on a playground where you sit on the horse that rocks back and forth on the big spring. We found one of those. We pretended it was a big treasure, and that was fun. Trying to think who else in Japan. I don't remember anyone else in Japan. Oh wait, no, there was that one kid. His whole family, the Card family, Brian Card and Scott Card, I don't remember. Anyway, lots of Boy Scouts I played with. In Ramona, when we moved to San Diego, I was friends with Ben Miller, who actually lives in Utah now, and I have seen him a couple times, and with Tyler Gold. Tyler is my good friend. I probably hung out with him more than anyone else growing up. If you can say I grew up anywhere with anyone, Tyler is probably the one I grew up with the most. I hung out with him from the ages 13 to 17, and even more actually, because after my mission I came back, or actually after I left California, I moved back to California and lived with Tyler. Initially I didn't want to play with Tyler. I was kind of an immature 13-year-old, and I remember Tyler wanted to play, and so he invited me over, and I was confused by him. He was in a wheelchair. He has muscular dystrophy, and so he couldn't use his limbs, and so I was like, well, what on earth are we going to do to play? And so the way we played was I built stuff that he instructed me to build, and then we knocked it over with G.I. Joes tied to strings, and I thought that was amazingly boring. So I pled with my mom that I wouldn't have to play with him again, and she said, no, go play with him again, be nice. So I played with him again, and we had a lot of fun, and we ended up becoming best friends. We played a lot of video games. Despite not being able to move his arms, he could move his thumb really well, and so he could play video games. And so we played a lot of Mario Kart and Mario Party. Had a lot of fun doing that. We talked a lot. I slept over at his house quite often, at least once a month, and I'd just sleep on the floor next to his bed, and we'd chat and we'd make metaphors all evening until his parents told us to stop, probably. We'd say, life is a lot like that fan, and we'd say why, and then it'd be my turn. Life is a lot like that TV, and I'd say why. Girls are a lot like that window blind. Anyway, it was fun. We'd make up metaphors, yeah, until his parents got sick of us, because there was an intercom and they heard everything we said. Anyway, I feel so sorry for the Golds. I was such an idiot teenager. Tyler also would like to go and do stuff with us. We go outside, and I'd do flips for him, go show him a bunch of flips, and I'd get him oranges and peel the oranges because he couldn't chew very well, so I'd peel the orange peels, like not the peel of the orange, the skin of the orange. I'd peel that off and just feed him the flesh. I remember he ate a lot of tater tots because they were easy. Anyway, I moved away from from California, and then to Mississippi, and then moved back to Tyler's house because I wanted to, and I didn't like Mississippi that much. But then I sort of did a lot with Tyler. I drove him to and from school and helped him with all his meals, and just did almost everything with Tyler until I moved up to Hollywood. And then even then I'd drive back down from Hollywood probably once every other weekend and hang out at Tyler's place for a day or two. We had a lot of fun. Tyler passed away a few years ago, at age 30, I think. No, that could be 31 probably, which is pretty good lifespan. Who else? See, in Ramona, I played a lot with Ben Miller. He and I would always walk from seminary to his house and have our third breakfast by that point. So I'd eat breakfast at my house, and then I'd go to seminary and I'd get donuts, and then I'd go from seminary to Ben's house and get whatever they were eating, So 3 breakfasts for a 16-year-old. It was perfect. And he and I, we didn't play a lot. I mean, we hung out when we were with Tyler, but we didn't just hang out together usually. I had a lot of friends in high school, but we didn't hang out. I went with Noe Espinoza a few times. That's it, really. I wasn't a big friend person, I guess. In Mississippi, didn't have any friends I hung out with at all. I was only there for 6 months, so didn't have a lot of time to develop close friends. Then, yeah, that was my childhood with friends.